So, would you rather go live in a communist country, say North Korea, or would you rather answer an email? And sometimes emails are pretty uncomfortable emails to answer. I got one that was a bit of good news once at Microsoft. This was absolutely insane. So I was the new guy there. I wasn't even at Microsoft proper. I was at at MSNBC before it went and became the communist thing it is now. MSNBC used to be a really cool news organization. And I was working there doing a video platform, which ultimately became MSN Video, which should have become YouTube if they'd listened to me, but they didn't. They thought they shouldn't spend that much money to buy YouTube. And I'm sitting at my desk bothering nobody when I get a note from Bill Gates. And the first thing I did was panic, thinking this is a joke. Then I looked at the email. I looked at the email address. I went into this system called HeadTracks. That's the org chart thing at Microsoft. I confirmed the email address. I even, at that time, remembered how to go look at headers. And I actually went and read the email headers. It was actually from Bill. And he had written to me, and he said, I have been watching the video product, like it. I want the ads to be 7 seconds, not 15. Please convey to the industry. He had no idea that my job was to go out and get television ads to fund the video product, that I put myself on the hook for $5 million initially, and then I think we went 5, 20, 50, and then eventually $100 million. Thing became a $500 million contributor eventually, and the team that did all that was much smarter than me. But I'm sitting here staring at this email from Bill Gates, and praise God, he CC'd my boss's boss. Sit there at my desk and the phone rings and it's Scott. Don't answer that. I have to answer. It's Bill Gates. Come and talk to me. So I go down and I have this conversation with Scott where Scott, he goes, he wants the ads to be 7 seconds. We have to make that happen. I go, Scott, we can't. No one's going to make special ads for us right now. Eventually that will happen, but right now it's not going to happen. There are no 15-second TV ads we can use, 30s or 60s. Okay, you are going to write to Bill, but you got to get back to him in a half an hour. And less than that. But you need to have me approve okay, look, Scott, I get it. I'll write a paragraph, you'll approve, and then you can come on top of that and say, I'll push Todd harder. Like, take all the air cover you want. You're the boss. So I replied back to Bill. Bill, thank you so much for the notes. We'll take the feedback to the industry. Right now, it's our job to bring TV ads over, which are 30s and 60s. They've got a lot of sunk cost in developing these ads, up to $1 million to $1.5 million per ad. So we need to establish cash flow and a base on this first, but we'll absolutely share your concerns with the industry. Thank you so much for the feedback. Bill wrote back within a matter of seconds and wrote, okay, we will give it 1 year. Thank you for reply. Now, that was fun in a way, but it was also very, very nerve-wracking. But I'm going to play for you a government employee who has a whole different view of being sent an email from someone who is assigned to monitor your work. It cost her a huge amount of, watch this, mental inflammation. Yeah, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. There is an inflammation crisis in America. I'm reading a book called Sugar Rush, and it is just about that. It's about sugar, what it does to the body. So sugar can cause carpal tunnel. It can cause inflammation in the joints. It can cause heart problems, general inflammation. But there's also a great bit of evidence that over-sugarification is actually causing some Alzheimer's and some dementia. Do you think that your brain isn't subject to inflammation? And if you've ever had generalized body inflammation, it is horrible. My dad suffered that, and he was a mess medically. He just decided to not treat his body well. And he had swollen joints all the time. So he was doing what you might be doing, or loved ones. If it's not you, you probably have people in your life. Even young people do this. They snack on ibuprofen. It's not going to get it done because ibuprofen causes inflammation. I'm here to tell you my experience with 2 soft tabs every night of Native Path Antarctic Krill. Inflammation was gone. I've tossed the ibuprofen. There's no ibuprofen in my house. And a bottle of Native Path Krill right now is comparable to a bottle of the ibuprofen poison. This has 3 incredibly powerful forms of omega-3s, and it is far, far more absorbable than that which you'd get through food, even fish. And it comes from the cleanest waters in the world, 73 miles off the Antarctic coast. Go to getkrill.com/Todd. That's getkrill.com/Todd and see what they have waiting for you there in the way of specials. Getkrill.com/Todd. This is a government employee, and she ain't all that happy. Oh, no, let me reverse that. Let me start. Okay, yep, no. It's okay. Oh, see, now the research team's mad. Beth, she quit. Alex, can you run downstairs and get Beth? I'm so sorry. Just yell out the door. Just tell her, Todd, sorry. Just go tell her. Yeah, just before she gets in her car.
He's sorry.
Beth, Beth, don't tear the painting off the wall. Is she tearing the painting? Okay, let me stop. All right, so I'll do Marjorie Taylor. I'm being a good host. Marjorie Taylor Greene first, talking about Doge, because Democrats in the media are saying people are shocked. Well, by the way, I can tell you I have friends and family members who now hate Elon Musk and have said things to me like, I cannot believe you're part of this. And I'm like, I'm not. I just like it.
And we have Democrats crying over Elon Musk. Are you kidding me? The American people, the polling is out. 72% Democrats and Republicans support Doge. Support it. 72%. They are not upset about anything that Elon Musk is doing. As a matter of fact, they're happy. They want their 50, they want all these improper payments, all of this waste, they want it back.
And of course it should be refunded to us. I mean, they should do a 15-year clawback on these organizations. And any people that were doing illegal things with the money, like funding terrorists and overthrowing governments, claw it back from them personally. Now, there are 28% of the people who are very upset, I'm guessing. And, I mean, this is a guess. I could be wrong. Perhaps this is an overreach. But I think that there's a possibility that this young woman might be among the people who are just terribly, terribly upset about these cuts. Here we go.
Today, I responded to the email that we received as federal employees asking us to report 5 things that we accomplished last week. I'm not worried about my 5 things. I have plenty of things to report. I did plenty of work last week. But the feeling of just like absolute existential dread that I felt typing out a response to that email is something that I wish I could convey to everyone, because it felt like such a glimpse into the reality that they are trying to create.
Okay. I ain't no photography expert. Does she have a filter on that, Alex? Yeah, okay. So she's got a filter on this to make herself look better, right? Eye color, etc. Okay, all right. No, because if you're going to do this, why not just do it raw? Okay, so whatever she decides to put a filter on it, the reality they're trying to create. I got some other emails at Microsoft that sometimes weren't that fun to deal with. I got an email from a senior vice president who sent me a note and said, you're going to stop visiting with direct clients like Pfizer Consumer Health and GM. You're going to stop it now. And anytime you go do this, you're going to ask for permission from me in writing, or I'm going to burn your little project to the ground. That was not a fun email to reply to, but he was a senior vice president. My reply was, noted. I'm sorry. I will reach out to you. I was wrong. And then came a note from a corporate senior vice president. Actually, Todd has our permission to do that. Let's meet. CVP, SVP trumps divisional SVP. But I got to be the good guy at that. It wasn't fun. There's a reality in the workplace, Mrs. Video Filter.
And it was terrifying. It felt like, you will do what I say or else.
Can you imagine a workplace where you do what I say or else? Can you imagine what would have happened if I replied back to the initial senior vice president and said, stuff it? I got air cover. I got a CVP in my back pocket, a CVSVP in my back pocket. You could stuff it. You're not the boss of me. Maybe I should have sent back that so-called song by, what's that band? Blank You, I Won't Do What You Tell Me. Rage Against the Machine. Blank You, I Won't Do What You Tell Me. Do you remember that they also started to demand that people be injected to attend their concerts? That's a fact. And mask. Blank You, I Won't Do What You Tell Me. I should let this lady finish. She spent a lot of time on this filter.
The email that we received did not say that failure to respond would be taken as a resignation, but the post on X did say that. And leadership at my agency is pretty much like, the email's authentic, but we don't know if the threat is or is not. We are going to respond, but kind of left it up to each of us to decide what to do. We have received more emails about all of the going on with Doge
sorry about
and
that.
Elon and all of this federal employee stuff that like I've spent more time in the last couple of weeks navigating these emails, going to these town hall meetings, going to these other meetings, making sure that so that the leadership can break down what's happening and tell us how we need to respond and tell us what is going on and tell us, you might lose your job because when your FTE runs, like there's so many things that they're having to convey to us. And so nothing that actually should normally be getting done and accomplished is being done or accomplished because we're all so busy trying to navigate this hellscape.
We'll stop. She eventually goes on to say that this is like living in North Korea. So all the people watching and or listening live, I'm sorry for the F words. Everybody watching and or listening later, you're welcome. We bleeped her F word. So she actually goes on to make the point, like it's a point. Replied to an email with 5 accomplishments is exactly like North Korea. Do you know what happens when you make an attempt to escape from North Korea? Do you know? They get you and capture you. They beat you to within inches of your life so that your life is preserved. And this is what our intel tells us. Then they bring you to a room to watch every single one of your family members for 3 generations. And if you're a parent, they make sure that the last thing you see are your kids being, and then they poke your eyes out. But they also ask you for an email with 5 of your accomplishments. Monstrous. The reality they're trying to create. You guys didn't have to spend any cycles on that at all. You simply could have replied with an email on 5 accomplishments. And anybody who's ever worked in a big organization does this anyway. It's called managing up. My boss has never asked me for trip reports. But when I was in corporate America, I would provide a trip report. I would email it to my boss and his boss, and you put his bosses, the big bosses, on BCC so they don't get bothered with all sorts of follow-up emails. You pop a note, Chicago trip report. Here's what we learned in Chicago. This is what these agencies are willing to do. This is what the big auto companies are willing to do with us. Here's some exciting things. And every time you do that, you make sure you never claim credit for anything. I want to thank Erin, the sales VP, who set this up. She put it together great meetings. Her support team was fantastic. The follow-up was stellar. I want to thank my team for creating the demos. Here's what the team accomplished. When you're in an organization that values merit and performance and rewards people in a meritocracy, providing something to a boss like that ahead of time without being asked is considered a plus. And every time I sent one of those emails, I would put at the top of it, estimated 2-minute read. Because knowing the culture, things that require over 2 minutes of reading ain't getting read unless it comes down from on high. But yes, North Korea. This speaks a lot about the culture in Washington, D.C. and what's been created there in and around it. I mean, she's not in Washington, D.C., but Joy Behar has thoughts.
And Elon Musk kisses his butt and strokes his tiny ego or big ego, whatever it is. And he doesn't get to he can take a nap while the guy who was not born in this country, who was born under apartheid in South Africa, so has that mentality going on. He
has that mentality going on. Have you heard him talk about South Africa? Yeah, he's not all that in favor of seeing white farmers burned and necklaced. And he saw what it did to South Africa, what it did to black people. I mean, Elon Musk has talked about this, but let's let the important lady continue. Is that her real hair?
Pro-apartheid, as I understand it.
I don't know either.
He's a naturalized citizen
right?
now.
He's a naturalized
Now he's
citizen.
a naturalized citizen.
Oh, really? How did he do that? Did he come over the border
He
legally?
had an H-1B visa, I
He
believe.
flew in.
Yeah, he
Okay, no, it was actually a Canadian visa, but same difference.
allegedly overstayed that visa.
Yeah, but I think this is just perfectly.
Oh, so he should now be deported. He's overstayed the visa? All of this instant hatred of Elon Musk is so much the left. Now they're complaining about his immigration status. This is so much the left. Because it's a 2-minute hate thing. We began this all by talking about an email. I mean, again, apply it to your personal life. Your wife sends you a note. Hi, honey. Do you know where the yard clippers are? This is frickin' North Korea. I'm in a state of existential crisis right now. I can't believe you're asking me this. Or you could reply and say, you know what? I screwed up. I don't know where those went. I think I gave them to the neighbor lady. We were having a nice talk in her yard. About what? Oh, that's classified.